Hello and welcome to Sriraj IS. My name is Shashank Roy, and here we are here with a new topic: Iran war alert, human shield versus U.S. strike. Oil crisis is coming, and Hormuz is under threat. Iran war alert, human shield versus U.S. strike. So. There was an article in the Indian Express, a detailed article. Iran calls for human chains to protect its power plants as Trump deadline ends nears. A whole civilization will die. Trump wants Iran not to reject his deal terms, and these are the weapons which are going to be used, unleashed against Iran. If Iran rejects the deal offered by USA, and this will be a triangular attack from air, land, sea, from all sides. Iran will be attacked, and these are the weapon systems which are going to be used. So Donald Trump says that a whole civilization will die, and Donald Trump doesn't want that. So now we will cover this article, but before that, the question is, what other permanent members of Security Councils are doing? What are they doing? Is there someone who can raise the voice, who can put the brake on this humanitarian crisis? Is there someone who can raise voice against Donald Trump and who can control this unjustified aggression against a country? So this question is not about whether USA is attacking Iran wholehearted, I mean, with full force or not. The question is related to the violation or the breakdown of global rule-based world order. If this is going to happen, it means that no country is going to follow rule of law. Tomorrow, China will annex Taiwan. Russia will annex completely Ukraine. Right? Israel will capture Lebanon. Palestine is already under control. Israel might expand their territory into Syria or into Jordan. So this is what is going to be the outcome or the backlash or the result of this attack. So we will talk about everything. So UPSC integration GS paper says GS paper 2 India West Asia relations, global geopolitics, US Iran tensions, role of United Nations Security Council. In GS paper 3 security and economy, energy security, military escalation and strategic assets, and impact on global trade and oil supply. In ethics, there may be a question, that is civilian mobilization in conflict, human chains, a war versus diplomacy dilemma. So what this article is all about: Iran has called citizens to form human chains around nuclear and power plants. This comes as US deadline pressure is mounting on Iran to increase under Donald Trump. The fear is possible airstrike on Iranian infrastructure. At the same time, China and Russia veto UNSC resolution. Strait of Hormuz tension is rising, and the target of US is going to be the entire nuclear power plant and Iranian oil infrastructure. Now, why is this critical? Why this thing is becoming a breaking point? The civilian shielding strategy. Now, Iran is inviting all its civilians, be it kids or mature or adults, to come and make a human change, shield their nuclear power plants. So use of civilian to deter attack, it raises an international humanitarian law concern. At the same time, there can be airstrike, strait closure, and global crisis. So this matter is going to be out of control if USA does that. Oil shock risk. Strait of Hormuz handles 20% global oil trade, and if Iran is attacked in that way, what will happen? There will be mass casualty because Iran is making human shield against their critical infrastructure. If the attack takes place, it will be a great disaster, and it will be a complete breakdown of rule based world order, and Iran might attack retaliation. Iran might go for bitter retaliation, and it may lead to another escalation in energy related shock webs. So UN paralysis, UNSC veto, failure of global governance. So United Nations, the question is also related to United Nations as a body for conflict resolution. United Nation body as a platform for conflict resolution. Now, military dimensions, assets and strategy, what US is going to do, that is not important. What US is going to do, that is not important. US is going to use B-2 stealth bombers, F-22, F-35 fighter jets, electronic warfare, drones and surveillance. What Iran's strategy is, asymmetric warfare to inflict maximum damage with low cost arms and ammunition, missile systems, naval disruption, and civilian mobilization for psychological deterrence. But do you think that by making a human shield around nuclear power plants or critical infrastructure will deter Donald Trump? Because we can expect about ethics, morality, and civility from a person who possesses these qualities or virtues. But Donald Trump is bereft of all these virtues. So, US is neutralized nuclear capability. US is trying to completely neutralize nuclear capability, whereas Iran is looking for raising the cost of attack, and this is how Iran is trying to deter intervention. Now, what will be the global impact of this attack? Economic impact, oil prices will fluctuate or surge, inflation will rise, and India will be heavily affected, which is importing 88% of oil. Strategic impact, shift in power balance in West Asia, China and Russia versus US bloc, and there may be a complete division on one side China and on one side China and Russia, on the other side USA and European power. But the problem is even NATO members and European powers are not at all agree or stand with Donald Trump in his action against Iran. Now, legal and ethical issues, use of civilian in conflict, and legitimacy of preemptive strike. India's stake is 80% crude oil is imported or 88% oil is imported from West Asia, so vulnerable for any kind of oil related fluctuations. Indian diaspora in Gulf will also be risk. And what India is doing a balancing act between USA and West Asia conflict, US maintaining US partnership on one hand, and maintaining Iran's relationship, because Iran is important for India from strategic perspective. Iran has Chabahar port wherein India has invested heavily, and that is also a gateway, only gateway for India to enter into Central Asian economies. But under US pressure, India has decided to shut the Chabahar port, and nobody knows that when that is going to open and when India is going to get an access to Chabahar port. Nobody knows about it. Now, India's priority is energy security plus strategic autonomy, maintaining a balance between its interest between USA and its allies and the West Asian economies. Now, way forward, what it says, diplomatic de-escalation versus multilateral forums, but the question is on the multilateral forum itself. What United Nations doing? What is the role played by United Nations Security Council's permanent members? What France is doing? What UK is doing? What China is doing? What Russia is doing? And what USA is doing? Can they enforce accountability? Can we talk about ethics in international relations? That's a bigger question. Now, reviving nuclear deal mechanism, ensuring freedom of navigation and avoiding civil militarization. So this is what this article is all about. This is the mind map, and we will get back to you with a new topic. Till then, thank you so much. Wish you a wonderful day ahead. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.